Welcome, everybody, and welcome to minute 5 of our broadcast. And apparently, I am just too stoned to hit the go live button.
Oh my gosh!
Hold on, let me.
The fact that none of us noticed.
No, it's my bad. It's my bad.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Alrighty. We want to welcome Katie again. And it's great to hear that she's wearing this NASA shirt for her NASA wear for Space Week. And
Yes.
We do want to welcome Amber and Maria. And Amber, if you could tell us again something about yourself and your online activities, so everybody knows.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, I'm Amber. And as you can tell from my accent, I'm all the way down in Australia, in Melbourne. It is Friday here. It's Friday morning. I'm not, like I said, yes, like we didn't hear. I don't actually have a YouTube channel per se. But yes, I do non-casual Fridays on my Instagram account, which was to oppose the casual Fridays we used to have in the office. But when everybody was in lockdown and stuck at home, I decided to turn my Fridays into a bit of a dress up, do my hair and makeup, entertain myself, feel a little bit good about myself. So that's what I'll be doing later today. So if you feel like dressing up on a Friday, come join me.
Awesome. And please feel free to put anything you want in your with your wrench. And Maria, tell us again about your channel, okay. Yours and John's channel.
John says I repeat myself all the time anyway. So I am Maria from TELLY. Oh, look, I got a little mug with TELLY. Anyway, as I was saying, we were on radio. Now we're on. Now we're starting to do YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel that's getting more content on it, and I'm really excited to bring some more on there because I have so much to do. I think you saw my video on the book thing I did. Yes,
very original.
It was kind of fun. But we do a lot of research. We thought we'd save everybody some time, and it's about pretty much a lot of different things, and just to invite you into our wacky world here between me and the Brit. And you'll have to check out that conversation. It was done right after his surgery, so he was a little out of it, maybe, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, it'll be fun, and I do a lot of soft voice stuff, so you'll have to go if you have trouble sleeping, go watch it.
Can you turn yourself up a little bit, Maria, because you are a little bit lower than the rest.
Normal. Okay, let me see what I can do about my mic.
It's a great ASMR voice, but we want to hear you today. And Maria can go ahead and put in your channel whenever she has a moment. And her channel is called TELLY. And let me bring in, and so it's an honor to have you both. Thank you so much. We've been Twitter friends, all of us, for a while, and it's nice to be able to connect finally. And to share our passion for the Orville. Season 3 is coming. Are you ladies excited for season 3?
So excited.
Oh, yes.
All righty, let's welcome the gentleman, Elihu. Welcome, Elihu. Welcome, Elihu.
Where's the gentleman at? So, yeah, okay, I want to make a clarification here. If you guys scroll up in the chat and wondering why at 2:52 I put so many unusual random fandoms, Smurf, it's because of her and her new title, and PJ called her a Smurf. So you guys are wondering what the hell did he type that for? I'm like, okay, I just want to make a clarification. Like, he's not the stoned one. I am stoned here right now. Come on. But none of us actually realized the live button was not red.
My bad.
Oh, well.
Hey.
Elihu, tell us about your channel real quick.
Okay, well, I had to take a little mental break because lockdown was partially lifted. I need to get out and see people besides myself and other people on screen. And yeah, now my computer's having problems with a certain app, which I used my show, so I couldn't do my show yesterday or today. All right, so I'm trying to fix it out right now. I know it's. I emailed somebody's help at Apple, so someone got an email back yet. But other than that, my show's called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk science, astrophysics, astronomy, yay, all the good sciencey fun. And the reason why Katie's wearing her NASA shirt is because a lot of science news is going on this week. Yes.
Yes.
SM-15 successful launch. SM-15 successful launch. Another successful flight of Mars helicopter Ingenuity. Another test flight on the 7th. The satellite, the defunct Chinese satellite, entering Earth's atmosphere and crashing to Earth on Saturday, which is an 80% chance of hitting water, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't worry, okay?
Can you imagine the chaos if it doesn't?
New York and Florida is right on the edge. I'm like, holy shit.
This is why we have Space Force. Can I go up and get it?
And I do wanna welcome really quick. He's in the chat. The gentleman who did this great artwork for where is he? Yitzy. Great artwork, Yitzy.
Heck yeah!
Tom Constantino even loved that, man.
Heck yeah!
Yeah, you impressed him, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, and we have a lot of cool Yitza stuff to come. Anybody who's working, anybody who's doing a channel out there, he's done a lot of our avatars. He's done mine.
My avatar.
This one, for example.
My avatar as well. That's a Yitzy original.
And yeah, Eli uses a Yitza original. Wait, yeah, this is a Yitza original, and we're gonna take a minute and recognize. That's pretty cool.
Heck yeah!
And this is mine.
I love
And so Yitza did a good job. Yeah, wow.
I have to change mine over.
Oh, you haven't changed yours. Okay.
I haven't. I keep forgetting.
Take a bow. Yes, take a bow. Alrighty. After the most unprofessional entry in our history, let's continue with and welcome ETEP. Hello, ETEP. Welcome, ETEP.
Oh, wait, my camera's not on. I'm showing off my beautiful avatar drawn by Nerium, a good friend of mine, comic book artist, author of Bonds, The Drive. Yes, that's my son and I. And if you're wondering why it says diarrhea is cool, he came on his stream and my co-host on Monday night taught him how to say diarrhea cha-cha-cha. So now Trey says that when he enters. I am ETEP Queen of the Place to Be Reviews, the Fandom Menace People's Champion, the most electrifying man in the Fandom Menace. And I have a channel where if you want to see a bald man melt his own brain watching bad television shows like Batwoman on a weekly basis, I'm your guy. I suffer for your sins so you don't have to. L'chaim. But it's great to be back. That's the first time I've done like the full-on like entrance. I usually intro. PJ's seen that on my channel, but I haven't done that over here yet. I'm in a good mood today.
Sorry. Your mic's a little loud volume.
Is it? All right, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, dude, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
you're better. I was using it was my radio voice.
I know. But
I went down into that radio voice. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. No, thank you for having me on. I watched the episode again today. It's the third time I've watched it, so I'm ready to go. This was great, and now I can't unsee Chad Coleman as Clyde, and all I'm thinking is Tyrese from The Walking Dead. I'm like, Tyrese, no, at least you're in space. You got away from the zombies.
Now, how many times have, let me ask Maria and Amber, how many times have you watched the Orville? Has it been many? Has it been just a few?
Oh, for me, it's been quite a few. I actually couldn't tell you how many watch throughs I've actually done. Yeah, and I tend to go back to certain episodes several times, so I've probably seen some episodes more than others. I'll be honest, including this one.
And what about you, Maria?
Yeah, I'm a watcher of several. Yes, because I've always been a fan of Seth in the first place. So anything he does, I've got to follow him. And when I saw this the first time, I didn't know what to expect, and I've been pleasantly surprised because it has everything in it. The topics are amazing, but the comedy's there, and it's just all around so pleasant to watch. The cast and the crew, though, they're spot on, you know?
They are, yeah. Now, we have, and just want to give a shout out to Corrine. She was being our Katie for the Orville. Is that what Katie, when we review Dark Matter on Mondays, Katie watches for the first time every time, and Corrine was doing that too. But she is recuperating, so we send her our best wishes.
Yes, Kareem.
All right. Well, again, this is fantastic artwork. I love the Herbie in there.
Yes. Oh, I swear, with Orville, there's so much chaotic, just pop culture that just randomly appears. Like, I don't know about you guys. I was not expecting in the 3rd episode of a sci-fi show written by Seth MacFarlane, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer to play a major part in the episode.
Go figure.
It was great. That was great.
I love it when shows surprise me because it's so nowadays when I start watching so many fandoms, I've seen so many shows. It's like, yeah, you got one surprise. I want something new, and this show definitely covers that.
It does, and I did not expect this show to stir up in this particular episode because I was enjoying the others so much. And can you hear me better now?
We can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear a little better.
So
You're still a little low.
okay. I'm trying to control my mic. Let me turn it up a little bit more.
Crank it.
I'm gonna crank it. Yeah, I know. I speak too softly. I'm sorry.
But carry a big stick.
Yes, I need a stick. What surprised me was that I had so much fun of the first two, but then when I got to this one, I was like, why am I angry? I was so angry and I didn't even know what to think, but I still enjoyed it, but it just brought up so much anger, which I'm sure with a lot of people.
Well, you
The
guys
emotion,
realize,
for
you
sure.
guys realize when this first came out, people were comparing this to be Seth Trek. It's as Family Guy in space. And the first episode is like, okay, it's a comedy. Yeah, he's trolling Star Trek. And the 3rd episode is like, wait a minute, is he trolling Star Trek now? What's going on? Serious? Like, yes, he still is trolling Star Trek because Star Trek used to deal with controversial society issues. And all of a sudden, Seth wrote a 3rd episode. Boom. It was just society controversial Star Trek issue wannabe. He was actually still trolling Star Trek.
Yep, he was trolling modern Trek by being better, which I love.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say it. But no, that's one of the big things about this episode is I'm glad they did it as episode 3 because you do feel emotion, you do have the humor. It shows exactly what he wants the show to be, and it's I love it.
Yeah, I got rid of my wallpaper. I'm like,
Maria, can you just give us a little bit more about that anger feeling that you were sensing?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm a big fan of, and who isn't, but a fan of justice. And I felt justice wasn't served here in the way. I guess I got more angry at the way that one person didn't have their voice heard, regardless of his feelings, and that one person got to decide everything. You know, making all the phone calls, bringing people over to make all the decisions. And I just felt like I felt him as I've felt in my personal life sometimes, where you feel like really tiny and you're just like so angry because you don't get to share your side of the story and why it's important to you. And I felt so bad for him that something so important just, I don't know, I can't pinpoint it. It's just,
Sure.
It was hard. It was really hard to watch.
I think I know what scene you're talking about, the courtroom
Yeah.
scene, right? Yeah. I wouldn't get into that, right, PJ? But I just want to say that I've watched the past episode of Quantum Leap, and the courtroom scene kind of mirrored the courtroom scene of this episode of the Orville. I'll explain that when PJ gets to that part of the show.
Quantum leap. Yes, I love that show.
Do you remember which one I'm referring to? The Alabama one?
Yep.
Katie? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about then, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let me just take care of one thing real quick, Amber.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people use the phones, the mic, for example, it just makes a lot of noise.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Is it too hard for you is it too hard for you just to unmute when you want to talk?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I can do that.
Can you do that? Yeah. Thanks, because we're getting feedback from the. I think it's just the mic is very sensitive on the phones.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
No.
Plan.
Quantum Leap, huh? Okay.
Yes, Katie knows what I'm talking about.
That's a show I need to buy, like on Blu-ray. I haven't seen that in so long.
They sell it at Menards.
Ah,
It's in the weird mini DVD section. I bought it immediately because I love Scott Bakula with a burning passion. You wouldn't have expected that now, would you?
I would not have. I would not have expected that at all.
I have so much just admiration for that man, but we can get into that a separate time.
Now,
I was
let's
so
ask.
I was so surprised in this scene that the censors actually let Seth get away with this.
With the arm, arm.
Yep,
Arm.
the arm.
It was not an arm.
Well,
For the children's sake, it was.
yeah. For the sake of the children watching at home, we'll call it an arm.
It grew.
It was gelatin. Like a push pop.
Well, people are kinky that way, but still, hey.
So thoughts on Yaphet going into sick bay 3 times in the week to
God.
Well, Yaphet's got a thing for the doctor, man. I mean,
now, let's ask the ladies: is it flattering or not, ladies? That not what he did, but I mean, coming in to pester you 3 times a week.
I'll tell you what, I'm the kind of person that enjoys trolling trolls, so I would have thoroughly enjoyed just screwing with him. Been like, dude, you have the plague. Like, oh my gosh, we gotta lock you up. And like put him in a room and just leave him there for a week and be like, yeah, you said, will you learn your lesson yet? I don't know. I'm very different. I would probably mess with him, but
Yeah, no, I would too. And do it so serious that he wouldn't realize it until after.
I admire the way that Claire managed the situation. She's
Yeah.
far more stronger than I would. I'm not that forthcoming. I'm too nice. I'm far too nice.
one thing the show has taught me is I want to be more like her, for sure. Like, and that's another thing with this episode. This scene, it's the most we've seen of her in the entire show so far. So it's really nice to be able to expand on her character. Which, oh my gosh, her episodes are the best. But we'll get to those.
Yes.
And Katie, is the green hair? Is it an homage to 5? You think?
I would love to think that. I just think she's got spunk. So the fact that she's like, oh, I got a green uniform. Let's go with a stripe of green. Yeah, I'm a mom.
That's what
I
I
got
was
2
thinking,
kids.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, let's go be punk. And she makes it work. She
It's a little
does
purple in
pulls
here.
it off. Oh, I freaking love her. I love
That
Penny
is
Jones
not-
Gerald, so
That's not a hand.
it could be. Just like
He wasn't trying to shake her hand. It was not a hand.
maybe it's a foot. I don't know.
People are into having foot fetish, so hey.
Now, was anybody surprised? That Bordas and Clyden wanted to correct ETEP? Were you surprised when they wanted to correct the gender?
well, not really, because they're a one gender species. So I assumed that there was going to be, something done. And yeah, this was a heavy episode tonally in spots. I mean, they still had their light moments, but it was heavy, and I didn't mind it at all. I liked that he was like you said, the 3rd episode of the show. He's like, you know what, we've been kind of just throwing little jabs. We're gonna come in with a haymaker now and see if this thing's got weight and if it has legs, and it did. I wasn't surprised. I liked seeing the conflict. I liked seeing that there was a little bit, between Clyden and Bordas, and it really, because it got to show a little more character development for Clyden. And like we were talking a little bit earlier, Chad Coleman, he's a good actor, so he worked the dramatic part well. And the dynamic between the two is wonderful. It translates well on screen to the characters. So yeah, the way they handled it, I think it was well done. Yeah, especially when it came to like the courtroom scene with the tribunal. But yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah, I like I said, I wasn't surprised. I kind of saw that coming, that okay, there's going to be some conflict here because it's a one gender species. They don't have, there's no women. Well, not yet anyway, that we've seen. So it's like we're going to, it's going to be, there's going to be some major conflict here in ideologies somewhere along the line.
Was anybody else surprised with the when they first watched it, when they first saw it?
Not really, because like I said before, it's their society. They grew up this way. It's all men. Yeah, it's like, okay, we got to correct this here because it's their society. It's like, oh, yeah, this is the way they grew up. It's embedded in their culture, their heritage. Mm-hmm. It's doctrine in their society. Of course they're going to say, yo, shit, we got to do something here. We got to be accepted in our society again. So I was not surprised when it did that. But I'm like, when Boris came to Dr. Finn and said, hey, I need you to do a sex change on my kid. And she's like, wait a minute. She's all of a sudden interpreting humans categorization with another different alien culture. And that's where that trial whole thing came in, which we're going to get into that a little bit. But yeah, that was a huge little flip with what Seth did. I'm like, holy shit. He just actually acted on screen.
And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but did anybody's opinion shift when we found out that Clyden had been born a female? Did that affect any of your views?
It didn't necessarily affect my view on the situation, but it did add to the already, I guess, congested element of this situation. Because that's what surprised me the most about this entire episode is how many different topics they went at from so many different points. Like, technically this episode is about transgender, but now you add in the element of it being a child and a one gender species and a parent who has been through this operation. And it's like, you're taking a real world human conversation and altering it enough that everyone feels comfortable learning about it. And you remove any sort of views or prejudices or preconceived notions, and you just watch it as a sci-fi episode with that little hint of, I can pull this into the real world. And that's the Star Trek element that I think everyone wanted to see. So that's what really surprised me, is how they went about it.
Maria, you were going to add something?
Well, I was, I think, thinking about how they really stress the equality part, and that kind of, I think, was helpful in a lot of things. And you're right, it wasn't so much as a surprise, like you said, since that's what their species is. But you would still hope that at some point they would break that cycle, and be accepting, and then learn that the change doesn't need to take place. And no, it didn't change my opinion. Learning that that one was sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze.
Allergies.
Cat hair.
Where is he right now?
And I thought it was, it just made me wonder, gee, are they going to maybe go into the psychological effect of that, but then, of how he felt when he was altered. But I don't think that they probably wanted to go down that far, but I was curious about it. But yeah, I like the equality part.
Yeah, it was a little flip when they found out that Clyden was born female. And of course, Borders was like, you didn't have the decision. You could have done something else. No, he actually could not have done something else with himself because he didn't know anything else about that. All he knew was male. I love that little line. He said, you could do something about this. Like, actually, no, you couldn't. Because Seth has to introduce, like, no, he couldn't. This is a society. He knew nothing about that. There was no way he could have done anything about that. Which goes to the trial part. Which we're going to get into that, of course, right? Yeah, which is basically the heart of the episode, so.
Yeah, and just on this final point, Amber, did you want to add anything?
No, I was just going to say, I think finding out that about Clyden actually I remained kind of hopeful that we were going to get a different outcome. And I guess that probably led to it even feeling, even stronger about it towards the end of the episode when we get there. But that it was kind of this point, because I kind of got myself to a point where I thought, okay, this is going to work out. Maybe this is going to be the catalyst, the turning point for them to change their decision. It was a good little hook.
Alrighty. ETEP, what did you think about the dance contest?
Oh, honestly, I was crip walking in my living room. I was like, I'm like, let's see a little sea walk up here. But no, it was funny. That was like a little nod to to Live and Die in the West, or 10 Million Ways to Die in the West.
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I can't think. It's been so long since I've seen it, but no, it was great. I was like, I was bummed it got interrupted. I'm like, let's see, because the guy playing the bandito on the roof was hilarious. I mean, he was up there working it. I was like, yes. And of course, Gordon, he's the one that organized. He altered the program for that. I was like, it was great.
The game.
The game, yeah. It was great. It was great.
And this scene gets lost a lot in the episode because it is so intense. But this is a fantastic scene.
Yeah, you think about those show off like they did with the Worf and Alexander and Old West. All of a sudden, wait a minute, dance off? What?
Yes.
I had the Three Amigos in mind, though. It kind of gave me that Three Amigos.
Oh, that movie's amazing.
I love it.
Yeah. Wasn't it like?
Yes.
It looked very similar to a scene from the Three Amigos. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, was it the same building or something?
It almost seemed like it,
know.
right?
It almost looked like the same facade. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Alexander and Worf in the holodeck Western shootout, and all of a sudden, dance off. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was good. I was good with the dance off, man. Like I said, it was a heavy episode. That bit of levity right there, right before they pull you back. It's like every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. That's and it was great. Then Boris, I need to talk to you. It's like here we go. We're back to the heavy stuff again. But yeah, you got Lamar and Gordon just there, kind of Ed just like what?
Gordon's dancing like.
Yep.
Oh my god.
No.
And the contrast of the comedy to the severity of the issues at hand really just, I don't know, it really brings everything. It makes everything more real to me.
It does.
What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's life. I mean, one minute you're doing fine, you're flying high, and the next minute something happens. You're like, what the?
Exactly.
Oh, we're going.
An M. Night Shyamalan move. Like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell did I just see there? Whoa, wait, rewind.
No, see, literally, I had one of those real life moments yesterday. I was just cooking dinner, and all of a sudden, my phone goes off and says tornado warning. Which, for more normal people, it's like, oh my gosh, what? For me, it's like, what the actual chucks the phone, runs the window? Why? Like,
Where?
Chaos can happen. Yeah, it was literally 50 miles straight to my west. I could see the storm. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
Where's my
it
car?
was 29 degrees this morning. So the chaos of real life shown in a show that isn't all nice and neat and tied up in a bow. So appreciated. Especially after yesterday.
Mm-hmm. You watch shows to escape life, and then life's happening in front of you, but still in non-real way. And you're like, what is Seth doing to my head?
You get the break. I love that.
Well, I love how Captain Mercer, he mentions that himself as well, because when he comes out of this, he does mention to Bortus, like, he only gets 1 hour of free time a week. And it's sort of just, this is the one hour of stuff that he does that's away from the heavy stuff. And it's he does sort of echo that sentiment. I like that.
Let me ask this question to everybody in the chat and on the panel. Raise your hand if you'd be totally into playing games on the holodeck, on the simulator.
Oh my god, of course.
Wait, where's my third one? Okay.
No third.
I'm not Yaphet.
Don't do Yaphet.
Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. Hey, at least I have pants. You saw I had pants on, okay?
Oh my gosh. No, I would play so many. I would pretend to be in my favorite shows. I don't know about you guys, but I would immediately be like, all right, I'm going to go into Star Trek. I'll be in the, what episode do I want to be in where I won't get killed? Like, and it's just, oh my gosh, go back into old Earth shows. Like, if they wanted to, they could do like a Bob's Burgers crossover. Well, I guess not now because Hulu. But like, you could cross into modern shows and just be like, oh yeah, sure, Captain, here, 1 sec. And then they walk out of the holodeck and they leave the cartoon. Like, I want to see that.
I would like live in Seinfeld. I would.
Yeah.
That's where I would be. Like, you can find me on Jerry's couch. That's or in the coffee
maybe
shop.
that's a good idea. They should do a cartoon holodeck episode.
They could do Family Guy. Literally just walk in, and then Seth just looks at him and goes, God, I hate this show, and walks out. Like, like I think that would be like fantastic. I might have to pitch that episode on Twitter.
There you go. Cleveland will be sitting in there. Man, am I getting my show renewed or what? Y'all canceled me years ago. Can you even do this to me now?
It's
I'm
like,
on a holodeck.
walks out.
It does look like he's right out of the movie A Million Ways to Die in the West.
The
They
Right
should
out
be
of
the
the movie.
same.
The shirt is different. It's a different shade of blue. I
Is
looked. Yes, I looked.
Really?
It's a different shade of blue. I looked. It's not
I
the same
still-
outfit.
He pulls off that Western look. I gotta say,
Yeah.
like the vest, the whole,
Yep.
yeah. Like I don't know if that's relatable or if it's cute, but I like both.
He can pull off a lot of looks.
And the man is just incredible. So
Oh my gosh.
No comment.
And hello, Dee Dee Myers, Shadow, another monster, and Darius, and everybody who's coming into the chat. Welcome, guys. Okay.
Yeah, too many weirdos to tag. So
Batwoman. I'd live. I want to meet the writers of Batwoman and just be like, what is wrong with you? Stop it! Stop it! My 5-year-old could write better scripts with crayon.
That show's got you traumatized, man.
Like I said, if you open this, if you open,
oh my gosh,
I fell in love with Wallace Day already. I don't like what they're doing to the character, but the actress, I saw her, I'm like, that's who's playing this? Please take the mask off this young lady. Please take the mask off her. That face needs to be seen.
They will in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
They
But
will.
no, that does. I have PTSD from that show. That is.
Oh.
I'm a Star Wars. I was like a Star Wars channel, and I have 60 Batwoman videos now, and I'm like, I can't even talk anymore.
You were a Star Wars channel?
When I started, it was like Star Wars and Marvel, and then like people like, we don't want to hear you talk about anything you like. Just complain about Batwoman, and I'm like, all right, so be it. The people have spoken. We're just going to complain about Batwoman and then do live streams, and the subscribers have come. So wait. I'm going to be reviewing season 3. I'm going to do like little quick hitters for season 3 when it premieres, though. I have to. Yeah.
Yes, today's Adrian's
Palicki's birthday. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And happy birthday to Adrian if she's listening. I don't think she is, but
that would be incredible.
If she is, happy birthday. Get off stream and go back to bed with chocolates. Okay.
And of course, if anybody does like Batwoman, that's okay. ETEP is not saying it's not okay.
No, you can like it. I just watch it to melt my brain down. It's fine. We're all fine. How are you? Just a weapons malfunction.
Yes, this is the way to do it.
Alrighty. And then we see they're going about their daily business about breaking up asteroids and sending them not having them hit planets. Kind of a very, very Star Trek thing to do.
Yes, I mean, this is what they should do to Psyche. Because Psyche is a asteroid that we know is basically 98% pure metals. I mean, instead of trying to blow it off and blow a piece off, you just want to cut it in half, cut slices off it, cut it in half and get out of the way. This is a perfect way to deal with asteroids. As long as it's not rubber piles, so hey.
Yep.
I mean, I love this part. It's like, yes, great. So I'm a scientist. I had a little mini orgasm when I saw this part.
We haven't asked Maria and Amber these questions yet, so let me start with Amber. Amber, what do you think about the level of humor and how it started out and how it's progressed in the first 2 seasons? And are you comfortable with how the humor's evolved in the Orville?
Yeah, I have. I'll admit, I actually came to the Orville as a fan of Seth's. So as a fan from the Family Guy, American Dad sort of fan base rather than the sci-fi base. So I did actually come into it initially thinking that whole Family Guy in space thing. So I think, and as we said earlier, you know, once we hit this episode, you sort of understand where the show really wants to be. But I think that the balance that they have, even when we do move into season 2, it's a really, really nice balance between the two. I think there's just enough in there that sort of just keeps it light enough, but to mix with the heavy stuff as well. And I hope that continues in season 3 as well. I think they've got the balance just right.
He did say, quote, we'll be trolling hard when in reference to Star Trek. I know that.
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me they're going to have like a Mikey Burnham, like somebody comes in for like one episode and tries to act like Mikey Burnham, because I would just love that. Just to see how Seth would play, do the comedic stylings with that type of, oh, yes.
Ensign Mikey Burham.
And Maria, what do you think about the humor and how it's evolved?
Oh, you know what? I'm the kind of go with the flow kind of person. I go into it just not knowing what to expect, but I love humor. I love science stuff. I love space stuff. Most of the shows I've watched are a combination of the space and humor. I'm fine with it. I evolve with it. I go with it. I think it's done with such taste. To me, the way it progresses, it's just, I don't know, it fits well. No matter what he does, it seems to always work and fit well, and I'm impressed with that. The writing, I don't know, I really enjoy the roller coasters.
Let me just remind Maria to go ahead and put in your channel every once in a while, whenever you want. And don't forget, everybody in the watching in the chat and on the replay. We have a lot of people watching on the replay. Please sub to Katie's channel, Maria's, Elihu's, and ETEP's, and anything that Amber puts up as well. Alrighty, what did you? It's interesting that. There's episodes down the road where Clyden also oversteps Bortus oversteps his chain of command, and here he tries to rendezvous with another vessel, a Moclan vessel, and he does overstep anything having to do with Moclus. He gets into trouble. Like Bortus gets into trouble when later on down the road when they're trying to smuggle a female Moclan. Let me ask anybody. Is anybody more of a Clyden fan or less of a Clyden fan after this episode?
I hate him with a burning passion.
I'm less of a Clyden fan after season 2, not this one, but season 2, because I agree with Talia. I see you again, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same. Deflectors was my turning point, I think, against Clyden. Yep.
I tolerated him season 1, but when he did that total 180, I'm like, I'm on Talia's side. Team Talia, yes.
Yeah, I want him out of an airlock, preferably quickly.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
Every word that came out of his mouth after, I'm like, just shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm not a violent person, but I can be.
Exactly.
Part of me actually tries to remain somewhat tolerant of their culture and trying to understand that. But there's a point, and yeah, I think it's around that episode with deflectors that Clyden just pushed that a little bit too far for me.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they're both Moclan. They both grew up in the same society, same thinking, same point of view, and one of them is all of a sudden changing his perspective to a different point, and his partner can accept it. It's like, no, we're stuck in this ways right here. But it's like he's trying to point out these other different ways. Like, hey, there's other options. There's other choices people can make. Like, no, this is not how we were raised. This is our society. He's like, well, this is a union. We're all part of everything here. Let's go back to trial, of course.
Shadowman says, yeah, Katie, he should be spaced. I want to remind everybody the Orville 24/7 and Tink and Lydia, hopefully, will be at some point be telling us more about it real soon. But if you haven't registered for the Orville 24/7, it's a forum for Orville fans. Please do check it out, and it's free. So we will be more involved with it as season 3 approaches. Alrighty.
I agree. That's why he is a great actor, because I hate his character.
Yep. That's a testament to Chad Coleman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He absolutely.
Monica Bellucci, you hate the bitch, but you love her acting.
It's just they make you feel. That is what an actor is supposed to do. They're supposed to make you feel, make you invest, get angry, feel through, you're living vicariously through them. And I didn't, I'm at episode 4 of season 2 right now. So I think he had a spoiler alert. He stabbed Bortus.
Divorce.
I'm like, this is how we do things. Oh, okay. You just can't go around stabbing officers. And, so there, that tension, I don't know if you guys are saying he did something else aside from that, but I'm like, that right there, I was like, because I like Bortus. I love the character, it's like, I'm like, oh, why would, what? Like, I understand they're different, but yeah, this whole thing here with the baby was like, it was kind of, it was disappointing, like you said, how it went, but the journey there, it gave you a nice insight to their society, which like I would like to see like more of Machlis and kind of things like that, just a world building aspect from my perspective, because they are kind of a interesting, like, other species of like humanoids. So
I do have to point out, because I was looking, I remembered something. It was scratching the back of my mind about this episode, and because we had talked about how it's kind of a heavy episode. I looked it up on the OrvilleFandom.com, and they said that originally this was not going to be aired until later on in the season. But Brandon Braga said they wanted to pull it up in the air date order because they had to know if the audience was going to embrace the show for what it really was. So they realized, they were like, this is going to be the episode that people are going to realize this is what we want to do. So I scratched at the back of my head. So fun fact.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, that's why I tweeted Seth. Good choice in the job. Good director for Brenda.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't heard back from him, but still, that's Twitter.
Now, are we going to see? I want to ask Amber and Maria. Are we going to see more of Machlis and the Machlins and issues with the Machlins in season 3?
I hope so. I think where we got to at the end of season 2, particularly after Sanctuary, still left a lot to be discovered about their people and about their operate and the role that they have in the union. So I think, I hope we see a lot more about Machlis.
Sorry, that was my phone.
I thought I was being beamed up.
No, sorry. I just got to learn. Danny Graham is on my comment chat.
I was like, not yet.
Maria, are we going to see more? Are we going to see more Machlis and Machlins in season 3, Maria?
Yeah, well, that's actually the same as what Amber was saying. That you kind of hope so. I think we have a lot to learn. I think there's a lot that we need, a lot of questions and answers.
And that's a good point, Tink. We know Rena Owen as Havina will be in season 3. Yes, very good point. And that whole Sanctuary Planet issue.
Yes, because I think the Machlin's going to be working 9 to 5 with Dolly.
I want Dolly to show up, just like in the holodeck. Just, would you like to meet your queen?
No. She's going to be in a wheelchair, dressed up as a female Machlin.
I would be down for that.
Hey, he can surprise us with makeup and just the voice. Yeah, you can do that.
I would love that.
Wow. I actually, that is a good point you bring up. I think we're going to be blown away again, but even more so with the cameos in season 3. Anybody have a comment on that?
He has so many connections. I mean, Million Ways in the West. Who did he have as a co-star? Charlize Theron. He had an episode. Hey, Charlize, you want to be on Orville? Oh, sure. Okay. He's got so many connections.
The Star Trek connections are mental.
Exactly.
Like, I'm hoping LeVar Burton will show up.
Oh, I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, like, I mean, he had literally a Star Trek Family Guy episode with the entire cast of The Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Spiner, Maria Surface, yeah.
Like, he clearly has connections, and clearly people like him. The man is a very nice dude from what I've been able to see. So I think he'll definitely pull in a lot more Star Trek people. Just as like a screw you to Paramount. Like, you're going to screw with that? I'll screw with you.
It's a well-deserved one, too. It is a well-deserved rib.
Well, he's already...
go ahead.
He's already had a couple Star Trek actors direct, so...
Yeah. No, and
last episode was Robert Duncan McNeil, then there's Jonathan Frakes directing. Who else directed? Didn't Garrett direct it? Hopefully Garrett will be... Yeah, hopefully he would direct an episode in season 3. Hopefully, because Kirkman never let him. I think Picardo is thinking about directing an episode in season 3.
I know. I saw rumors of Patrick Stewart potentially being on, which I think that when they signed on for Picard season 2, I'm like, I don't know if they'll be able to work that in, but holy crap, could you imagine? And like the fact that he doesn't make them most of the time the leading character on the show. He's just like, oh, they're gonna come in for an episode, we're gonna make you think about it, and then they're gonna leave.
I'm sure Seth has asked Patrick to be on the Orville. I mean, he's the CIA director and Family Guy. Please, I mean, American Dad. Please. Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
he knows Patrick.
My thing is I think that he'll surprise us with all the people coming on as even guest stars. But my hope is that there's not a lot of major cast changes. So you know where I'm going with this, because I was shocked on one. I was like, what the heck just happened? So as long as we don't lose what we've got and just add to it, that's my thing.
He pulled a Tasha Yar. Hey, you got a super chat, PJ?
Yeah. And thanks, Shadow Man. Thank you, Shadow Man. We should see more Mocklin Tech. Star Trek fans already see this show as Star Trek by another name, only funnier. Yes, true Star Trek fans do see it. Thank you, Shadow Man, for your generous super chat. We appreciate it. Is anybody? This is an interesting point. Is anybody on the panel not a Trekkie? Is anybody not a Trekkie?
I'm not.
You're not a Trekkie. So, okay.
I mean, I've seen it, but I'm not. I don't ever really. I haven't watched it since I watched a couple episodes of Discovery. Because I'm like, I'm already. Yeah, exactly. They put the season 2 episode 1 on YouTube for free. I'm like, I'll watch this, and then I was sailing the high seas, and I watched another one, and I'm like, oof, because I'm like, it can't be this. Okay, it is this. All right. Okay. All right. This, wow. Like, and then I start watching reviews, people I know, big YouTubers that are into Star Trek. And I'm like, ooh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is not, well, like I said, having seen some of the classic Star Trek and, grew up with watching a little bit of the Next Generation, and, I've seen the older movies. I've never watched any of the JJ movies. Not going to do it. No, I was shocked what I saw. I'm like, this is totally like not what I remember as, Star Trek. Even was it Deep Space Nine? I've seen a couple episodes of that, and it didn't make any sense to me why they would do that.
You might want to try Lower Decks.
I haven't seen any of those either. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay, Lower Decks. Yeah, it's the kind of Star Trek you can watch stoned or not stoned. It's still funny.
It looks like I've seen the animation. It looks like kind of like Rick and Morty style animation.
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to do a virgin viewing of it with me, I'll pop it on my channel, and we can get your reaction.
Okay.
I love showing people shows for the first time, because now that I've gone through that hellhole, it'll be great.
Every Monday.
One episode a week, and you are stuck with
it. Did you never peek ahead, Katie?
I've never peeked ahead. I don't even watch the trailers.
Good. You're such a goody two shoes.
I am.
Yes. ETEP, I have to ask you, does this bring back memories?
Oh yeah, and I have to I tell you, I was like, he took that bump really well. I'm like, tucked his chin and everything. And can I just say that it's always nice to see Alara just being a badass. I was like, go girl. I'm like, I'm like I said, I'm a Halston Sage fan anyway, so I was like, seeing her kind of beat out a little bit. I was like, you go. I'm like, all right. I was like, but no, it was funny. It was
just,
like.
Just to fill people in, ETEP used to do professional wrestling. That's why I asked.
I have worked in the ring with like I said, I was about 245, and the girl I was training with, and I was making her look like $1,000,000. She was about 5'3" and about 120 pounds. I mean, she was built pretty good.
Deal.
But yeah, I had I was letting her just. I mean, she was tossing me around. I was throwing myself all around. It was fun. She was laughing. She arm dragged me, and I threw myself across the ring. I let her suplex me a couple times. It was like, because I'm putting myself up and over. I mean, we're going through the motion. So yeah, it was fun. Like I said, because Halston Sage is this tiny little thing, and I was like, yeah, it was fun. It was yeah. Anything like that in the ring, it just like. Brings it. I get one solo tear in my eye. I'm like, I miss it so much, so much.
I mean, she had good form. So
She did. She was, a little head bob. Had her hands up right. I was like elbows in. I'm like, go. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of boxing, but I know her form. Her feet were in the right place.
Yep.
Her elbows were in. Her fists were up. I'm like, okay, she got some pointers there.
Thanks again, Shadow, for the super chat. And what did you guys? This is kind of an awkward moment, right?
I love this.
I wanted to ask though. Nobody's mentioned this, and I wanted to ask:
Please.
Is anybody a fan of Farscape?
I've never
Seen it.
Yes.
I have not seen Farscape in
Farscape.
years. Sorry.
Well,
You are, Maria?
Yes, absolutely huge fan.
Me
My
too.
my screensaver is a Farscape, so yes, I'm a bit nerdy. I'm just wondering if anybody found some of the episodes a little similar to that as well. But I guess not too many have seen Farscape, so
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because in some ways, some of them, yeah, I would say some of them, yeah.
the relationship between a couple of them and stuff, and they won't know what we're talking about, so you'll just have to watch it. But it's a good show too, I think, and it was short-lived, but it still has its
Australian produced, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
And what happened to our Aussie? Oh, she's back there.
He's hiding behind the icon. That's lit.
And we see here that the whole crew is planned. Alara and Gordon and Lamar, they've all planned to like kind of impact Bortus. And it wasn't. So what did you guys think about the Rudolph thing?
Okay. That was
Cool. That was awesome.
Out of left field, but
Yes.
perfect.
It fits in with MacFarlane's like humor though. It does. It's like it's like that little clip of was that money, and now for something totally different. That's basically what it struck me as right there. And you lead into them sitting there watching Rudolph, and they're sitting back waiting for him to get. Oh yeah, this is these two guys. Like I adore their dynamic together.
Oh, me too.
It is. They're just the actors. They play off each other so well, and like I said, it shines. It does. I dig it.
You see two guys walk in with a 6-pack of beer. It's like, it's just time to hang out. You want an action flick, a hardcore movie, like laughing. It's like, Rudolph? What?
That's not what I was expecting him to.
I know.
To propose them watching it first. I was like, they're gonna go with some action movie or something. He's like Rudolph. I'm like,
Exactly.
oh, nice allegory. All right, I see you. I see what you're doing.
The movie's over. Then you see this, and all of a sudden you see Scott Grimes' character like this, like, yeah, he's getting it.
Yep.
Yep. And I love, like, it's not just we're going to talk about it and then it's going to be gone. No, it has a running theme and it has an effect on the rest of the episode. It's not just one of those jokes that you make just, haha, Rudolph. Like, no, it actually has a purpose. Everything in the show seems to have a purpose, one way or another.
Yeah, you're different, but you actually made it. You actually made an impact upon something. You actually did something. You may be different, but hey, you're you. You're unique. You're special. That's the whole point of it.
Yep.
and obviously everybody's aware of this Christmas special, the holiday special that they're watching. Of course, I think.
Yes.
And by the way, does anybody know the true story of how they wrote Rudolph, or of the writer of Rudolph?
I totally forgot about that. I read it somewhere a long time ago, but I forgot, man.
I don't remember exactly, but I think it's the father wrote it for his daughter, and they were in very difficult circumstances, and it's a very touching story. It's very. And yes, we have people who like Discovery and who don't like Discovery in the chat. That's okay. That's okay, guys. If you like it or don't like it, that's okay.
Some people like chocolate, some people like vanilla. Hey. Some people like vanilla weird, but still.
I'm glad to see we got some Farscapers out there.
Yes, we do.
Makes me happy.
I think Yitza said that he had just finished watching season 1 of Farscape, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Hey, I got a question since you have this little thing up here, this little screenshot up here. Do you guys think that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer would have been a good lesson for Bortus, for Lamar and Gordon to play, or do you think a different kind of current 20s generation movie or TV show would have been better?
I don't know.
I would stay with the one they used. Let's be honest. It just fits so well. I can't think of anything else right offhand that you would use as a surrogate for that. Just because, like I said, the allegory is there.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I can't. Like I said, right offhand, I can't think of anything.
I mean, not even the Brady Bunch could pull that off.
No.
Yeah.
No. No, Cindy and Bobby used to do it in the doghouse between takes. So, fun fact, by the way, on set. Fun fact. They were caught making out in the doghouse a couple times.
We see here that we also see that that Clyden goes shopping and Bortus goes to find him. And Bortus, I mean, Clyden does seem to be more like the female role in the couple. He does go shopping, and we see him. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything, but and we see here that they had Bortus kicks out somebody who's in there, and I wonder if we will ever see this guy again. Will we ever see this guy?
Have a slimy day. I love that. The picture matches him. I love that.
Yes.
Who was that
actually
actor?
He is the co-producer of Family Guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah, let me pull back up my Orville fun facts.
Yeah, who is that guy?
Let us see. It is scroll.
Because of Sydney as engineering. Never seen him in engineering before.
Julius Sharpe. He's a writer and co. Yeah, that.
Shapiro.
He's the writer and co-producer on Family Guy.
Ah.
Oh wow.
Okay. The quote he gave a quote said, "Some call this my finest performance. Others claim I was upstaged by a funny pillow."
I go with the latter.
And just a shout out to our friend Bionic Belly Button, who was going to join us tonight, but she couldn't join us.
Downers.
Let's see. And here we are. And the reason I'm bringing up Bionic Belly Button is because in her notes that she shared with us, she mentions here, this is a very kind of a funny moment when Kelly says, "Don't start passing out penises just yet."
All I can see is Oprah, like the book of the month, and you get one, and you get one. Everybody gets one.
Tell me what's your penis, Captain Mercer.
And then we have a funny moment where Ed is he says the captain of the Mocklin vessel says, "You are quite fragile, Captain Mercer. Are you aware of this?"
Yes, I am. There's an anti-bullying law named after me.
I forgot about that. I cracked up. Oh my gosh. That line, I'm gonna have to remember that and use that in real life. Like, that is incredible.
It was his delivery too. It was just so spot on, you know, when he
Yes.
delivered his line, it was perfect. And that's really what sold it, was just the way he
The camera angle.
delivered it.
The camera
Yep.
angle, it's like he was looking up at him when he said that.
Yes.
Yeah, and like,
Yes,
there's
it was
no
perfect.
delay too. There's no hesitation. He's like, I've done this before.
Yep.
Like, I'm very well. I understand.
Yes.
Yeah, like,
Right there.
Yeah,
That
looking
is,
up at- yeah.
and Bortus in the background just kind of side-eyeing him too. It's wonderful.
Now,
Oh, I freaking
was
love
Bortus
him.
like offering to help there? I think he was. wasn't
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yes, he was.
But as a Union officer, he obeyed his commander.
Yep. Yeah, because he told him to stand down.
Yeah. Like Picard kept telling Worf to stand down a couple times. So I think there's only one law named after him.
I thought he said that it was like an anti-bullying law, just the one. I don't. It might have been plural, but I can't recall right offhand. But I thought it was one. But
Still,
who knows? Maybe sensational being is Seth, and he's telling us that there are more laws coming. Thank you, sensational.
if that truly is Seth, we need to get him a link, and I want to sing a duet with him if it is.
Gotcha.
I want to see him do more singing in the show.
Yes.
Like, another
Yes.
They should just do, if they ever need a filler episode, just do a karaoke night and like do a game night on the Orville.
A musical episode. We've been wanting this. for 2
Honestly,
seasons.
a musical episode. I say this as a fan of musicals. I would actually love, with this cast. I would really love that. That would be fun because he can sing. He's got, he has such a good
Oh my gosh.
He
old.
can sing.
He's got that old school
He's a modern
crooner.
can sing,
It's a crooner. He's got that crooner type voice.
Jay Lee can sing and play a couple instruments. Scott Grimes can sing and play a couple
Yep.
instruments. Penny Gerald Johnson can sing. I know Adriana can sing. Who else? Norm Macdonald can't sing, but he's still funny looking.
Yeah.
We got a very talented crew there.
Mm-hmm.
They could pull it off easily. I could see it happening.
And when they get to the, does anybody else get the feeling that when they get to the all male Moclan planet, and this is a shot when they're in the shuttle, and the doctor says, oh, they totally destroyed their environment. I'm surprised they can even breathe. It almost feels like there's a commentary here about too much testosterone going on the Moclan world.
There's a subtle shade.
Coming from her, yeah, I got that too, man.
They're all about of weapons and destruction and
That Moclan toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And a toxic air, apparently.
Yeah.
Chicago. Oh wait, that's sorry, that's Mockless.
I would say, is that China?
Actually, China's air has gotten a 5% reduction in the past year because of the lockdown. People not driving as
Everything's
much.
shut down.
Yeah, because they weren't letting people outside.
They've got a
Fun
5%
fact.
reduction in air pollution.
Well, fun fact, I have a website that shows me the current air pollution around the entire globe, just for meteorologists and everything. And when the pandemic was probably I'd say early May last year, I clicked over to the pollution site and did a 1 year ago switch back. Holy cow, Mother Nature was the healthiest she has been since the Industrial Revolution. Everything was shut down. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Meteorologists were secretly
Yeah.
but now we're back.
wow.
Hey, astronomers are going, wow, look at that. Is that a star?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What if the whole COVID thing was a conspiracy to slow down global warming?
Shut up.
Oh gosh. All of a sudden the stream gets shut down.
Here comes you're going to get the 17th letter of the alphabet stamped on your stream. Now, trust me, I know it's happened to me 3 times.
We had some really nice special effects though.
Yes.
From the special effects gang at the Orville. And by the way, if anybody hasn't seen our interview with Eric Hayden, he's the 3rd person to be added to the VFX supervisor crew. We did that about 2 months ago, and you can search that on the channel. Now, wasn't it great that they went ahead and like Ed decides, oh, there's got to be some Moclan female on the planet, and they start doing that that sweep of I guess they're looking for female. What do you guys think? My impression was they weren't looking for anybody specific. They were just like looking for any female Moclan on the whole planet, right?
That's what I took from it. He's like, yeah, there's got to be a female around here somewhere.
Yep. It's the law of
something like that.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I was like, it's probably something like that.
I was this law of averages. Yeah, there's got to be a couple of, a planet of millions of sentient, Moclans. There's got to be a female there somewhere. There's at least a couple of them that have kind of slipped through, and families are like, well, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to let our child live as she was intended to to be by nature.
How often did Isaac say a female is born every culture? The
70-something years.
Yes, yeah. So there's got to be at least one Moclan around there. They live, 150, 120, 160 years? So 75 years old, that's middle age for us? Yeah, there's got to be a female on the planet somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point, Sensational. Based on their eating abilities, I thought they might be okay with that polluted air.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Eating glass. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a new fun thing.
Eat my gun.
Can I go get I gotta go get a bucket of nails. I love that line. I'm like, oh.
Amber, were you going to say something? I'm sorry, because you're muted. Were you going to say something?
No, it was okay. I was just replying to this. Yeah, it was 75 years. One in every 75 years, I think, was what Isaac was saying. That was what I was jumping in on.
I was going to say that you can kind of gather there was a female somewhere, because they do hint at the between the couple, that one acts as a female would, so there's those traits, there's those attitudes, there's that whole thing, the sensitivity. So they kind of bring it out that there's got to be there somewhere. It's not completely lost and gone, even though they've been this way for a long time.
Yeah. And we find out that there's actually a lot more, and we find out in later episodes there's a lot more females born than we originally thought. Guys, anybody in the chat, remember, if you have a wrench, you can please, if you're on the panel or in the chat and you have a wrench, please go ahead and use it and put in your channels and stuff. Hello, Peach. Hello, Deej.
You saying hi to yourself.
Said hi to myself. This is a really off day.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Doesn't everything look like, I know it's not exactly, but it's reminiscent of a Klingon court in Star Trek V. What do you guys think?
Boom. The challenge. Yes. The hammer. Yes.
Star Trek VI. I'm sorry.
I love the whole square. We're descending upon it.
Yeah, for those of us who are Trekkies, there are things that remind us a little bit of the Klingon courts that we've seen.
Yeah, the witness is in light, but everybody else is in shadow. Just like in Star Trek VI.
Well, I don't want to. You know what? I've been trying not to make as many comparisons as I used to between the Star Trek and Orville, but because the Orville really is kind of its own thing. It's becoming its own thing. So forgive me if I do bring up those analogies a little bit too often. Anybody in the production staff who is listening, and hello, Captain Trek.
Yeah, this courtroom scene was very, very intense.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it reminded me of the episode of Quantum Leap where Sam leaped into a lawyer. It was in the late 50s in Alabama where this black woman was being tried for murder. And Sam was trying to get her a jury of her peers, but there was a catch to that because there was no black registered voters to be part of the jury. So had to be stuck with the all-white jury against a black person. Just like in the Mothman trial here, there was no female members of the peer, so they had to be stuck with hearing from the male society ones. And how did Sam actually resolve this jury thing? Spoiler if you haven't seen the episode, by the way. He finds a white woman to counteract the story. He's like, hey, this is actually what happened. What did that do? He found a female Mocklin. Didn't realize it was actually a female Mocklin that actually was a huge writer, but it was a female Mocklin. Like, hey, this person was actually part of this part of society. This is person's equal. This is what happens to this person. Your society itself is judged upon closed-mindedness about one whole thing. Just like the Quantum Leap episode. Your society is closed-minded about one whole thing. You're not white, you're right. You're not right. That was your society. Mocklin society. You're not a man, you can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm talking about. You know the episode I'm talking about, Katie.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
the thing that's amazing too that I kind of liked, well, not kind of, but I really liked was that her quote from the book that they all love and worship.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, guess who wrote it? And you're like, oh, snap, because it was a zing. I loved that part, the look on their faces.
You don't have to be a man to contribute to any kind of society. You don't have to be a man to write poetry. You don't have to be a man to be a doctor. You don't have to be a man to make to be a warrior. The warrior Mothman's proved this in future episodes, by the way. Spoiler.
Who else? Everybody, when you guys hear the name Gandhis, her name is her pseudonym as a writer. Does anybody else also think about Mohandas Gandhi? Because every time I heard it, I was hearing
That's the Mahatma. That's exactly. Yep, that's where I went. It was like, is this a play on But yeah, it was great to see like the deflation of everybody in that room when they found out that she was the author, and it was a great moment. And I say this is a toxic male.
Society's greatest contributor was a female.
Yes, it was nice, and it really served the theme of the episode very well. And spoke to how valuable the balance is. In the scales, you need that. You need balance. And it's funny because I get a lot of guff because of the things I do and say and cover on my channel sometimes, but it's funny because I tell people, well, I'm also I've been a stay-at-home dad for 3 years and have a wife that works full-time. Can I work full-time? Yes, but my son, until he went to school, I stayed home with him, and I cook, I clean, I do laundry, I do all those things that are looked as traditionally feminine. It doesn't matter. I'm like, nobody looks at me as less of a man because I do that now. I substitute teach. I volunteer at my kid's school. I do those things. And it's like, we made the decision for me not to work so I could be there for my son whenever we need, because one of us has to. So, to see this, the way the episode was written, it is, I like that, that they showed how important of a figure she was without them knowing that she was that important of a figure. It's like that the foundation of the House of Cards is built on her words, so it was kind of nice.
Good advice from Mr. Mom.
Hey, that's one of my favorite movies, man. Michael Keaton's amazing.
Yes, I love it.
I want my whoopee. I can sympathize with that.
Sorry, Katie, we're old.
Yeah.
Caviteno Cavalryman brings up an interesting comment, and I wanted to ask you guys. Notice that Clyden says he didn't discover it until he was examined by a non-Mocklin doctor. Didn't that catch your there's a huge conspiracy on Mocklis?
Yes.
What do you guys think about that?
Well, it's interesting because it seems like the Mocklin Society stays pretty much on Mocklis or with Mocklin ships. Like, you don't see a lot of them in the Union. So, of course, they wouldn't have the opportunity to be examined by someone outside of their medical society. So, yeah, I think it's probably just a huge conspiracy.
Yeah, because if the Mocklin doctor would examine, was like, oh, used to be female. How come Clyde didn't know? The doctor's part of the conspiracy.
Hmm.
It's like you go to all American doctors. Oh, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. You go to a Canadian doctor. Yeah, there's a tumor.
Gee.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Katie, Deej is provoking you in the chat.
Wow. It's you. I like Tom Baker. I don't have anything against Tom Baker.
Where's my Tom Baker at? There's me as Tom.
Nice. It's a
That's not-
comfortable scarf. What can you say?
Yeah, that's not Tom. That's me.
What did you guys think about the actress that they chose for to portray Havina?
I liked her.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
spunk.
Hmm.
The style, just she did it. She pulled it off well.
She
was
fully
she's-
embodied it.
She's a
Yeah.
frail, strong old woman.
Mhm.
That's what I took it as. A
Very
frail, strong
eloquent.
old woman. Yes. Kind of like what's her name? Oh, shit, I can't remember her name now.
ETEP, have you seen the Sanctuary episode yet? The other Havina episode? No.
I have not, because like I said, I think I'm up to episode 4, episode 4, season 2.
Okay.
So I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, you got some good episodes coming.
You're gonna love it.
Excellent.
Oh,
man.
she
Excellent.
loves Dolly.
I love that episode with
Excellent.
a passion.
Pew,
You
pew,
haven't
pew, pew, pew.
you haven't seen Identity yet? Then yeah, Identity.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
you will like that. These not provoking.
Your emojis would try to tell me otherwise.
Phew! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm allergic to bullshit here. Sorry about that. Oh. Ooh, okay, I'm better.
And of course, this is one of the classic moments. I got the wrong picture. One of the classic moments of, I think, probably of Orville, of the Orville show, right? When she says, "Why don't you ask him?"
I like
Yeah.
that. Oh.
And she's like, why don't you ask him?
Did you catch on there? Eh?
Yeah.
Eh? Eh?
Mhm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yes, when you watch ETEP, when you watch Identity, make sure make sure you have time to watch it.
Oh, I'll watch that
Oh.
either like during the afternoon before I go pick the kid up when I'm sitting around eating bonbons, or at night, like when I get like 45 minutes at night to watch TV, usually before I pass out. That's my range. It's like I sit down, it's like boom, done. So I get like an hour in the afternoon sometimes when I don't, I got some free time, and that's what I rewatched episode 3, this one about a girl today, before I had to go pick my son up for school and from school, and then like I'm gonna go back and start watching. I'll probably get another one in tonight after we're done here, because it'll be eat dinner and watch some TV and then pass out. So that's I'm trying to watch. Maybe get the wife to watch it with me and sneak in a couple. So if I could pry her away from Sons of Anarchy.
Well, you know that line which she utters, why don't you ask him? To me, it's basically, it's like that showed her character that she is humble. She didn't say, well, why don't you ask her? I'm right here. Or I'm right here. No, she didn't say that. She goes, why don't you ask him? That shows her humility, how the writer actually is. The writer shows humility, perspective, warrior, all in one. That's the greatest person on the society. And she did that when she said, why don't you ask him? Not saying it's me, but come on, it's me. Ask him. That's humility right there.
Mm-hmm. And I appreciated the way she portrayed her strength. Even though they had her hiding under bushel and everything, she didn't come out and flaunt the fact that they were living by her word, basically. But she just knew it, and it's awesome to have that confidence. And I was like, man, I wish I could be as confident as she is. She did it with such integrity and determination, and but without coming out and saying, yeah, guess what, you're worshiping me.
Absolutely.
I kind of like that.
Such humility.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Maria. Amber, any comment on Havina?
Yeah, I think
Radar.
Sorry,
I saw Radar Tail.
My boy.
I thought it was interesting that when she did actually make that revelation to them, there was a moment of shock and awe, but it was just they were still so stringent in their ways that it just didn't change their opinion, and didn't actually give her any more respect. They were so set in their ways, which it led to that, also added to that level of disappointment, because you would think that when they found out and they were actually meeting this amazing person who they admired and adored, when they found out it was a woman, it still didn't actually change their opinions at all.
Seemed to
which I thought was interesting.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
and she points out when she comes into the room, obviously, that she's lived in hiding and in isolation, and actually in coming out is actually going to change things for her as well, and recognizes that she's no longer going to have that level of with the seclusion gone, it's going to change things for her.
It's interesting that this whole episode actually does more for Havina and her evolution than it does for the time being for everybody else involved.
I think you're right there. It was a little opening into her little revolution.
Now, Rico, this is our friend of the channel. We interviewed him before, Rico Anderson, who played the Mocklin Doctor. And Rico's on vacation, so he couldn't be here with us, but we will bring him in.
I thought it was going to be a little special guest, man. The surprise guest. That's what I was waiting for.
He's been waiting backstage this whole time.
Oh, no.
I remember that episode when you had Rico on here.
Yeah, Rico... it's interesting because Rico says that a lot of people say to him, "Oh, he's the Mocklin Doctor that everybody hates because he performed the operation on the child." But he was a lot of fun when we had him on here.
I remember that episode.
And he's like, "Here's your baby boy. Here's your baby boy."
It's a boy.
Now, let me ask you this, everybody. I'm going to ask. Let me go down. Let me start with Katie, and let me just go ask everybody. Are we going to see? What kind of Topa episodes are we going to see, Katie, in season 3?
Oh goodness, probably.
What are we going to see with Topa? Is Topa going to find out? It's a small ship. Think about this. Is Topa going to find out that he was supposed to be a girl?
Oh gosh, I feel like yes. I feel like that would add a lot more drama to it, and then you add a whole new moral conundrum when it comes to which would they want to switch from boy to girl again and go back as a child? Can you make that choice? I think that would be a very interesting episode, and I don't think that they would shy away from it. So probably something along that vein.
What do you think about? What do you think, Amber?
Yeah, I certainly hope so, and I think we start to lead to some of that education piece again in season 2, where we see them in Sanctuary with the way he sort of treats his female classmates and how he comes to understand more about females in general and that they're not the weaker sex. I hope that as he gets older, that starts to be addressed a little more, and perhaps he does learn more about it. And I hope that Clyden's own experience doesn't sort of overshadow, the way or impact the way that they're going to raise Topa and his understanding of who he is and was. Yeah.
What about you, Maria?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that to me, it's going to highlight the relationship between the whole family and the way they have to be accepting of each other regardless of what's happened. If he does, like Katie said, I think maybe perhaps, what if he does say, you know what, I think I want to go back to being a female? What's that going to cause? What kind of problems is that going to cause and everything? And I don't know. I think that they'll probably touch on that. I don't think they can just let that lie. This was such an important episode.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Like he could, because he's growing up so fast. Because Topa is like, he grows up. He was like 2 or 3 years old in season 2, and he's almost adolescent. Well, not he's pre-adolescent, but he could hear the story from any kid at school, really.
Yeah.
I
Everyone
heard
on
you're
the ship was
supposed to be-
talking about it.
Yeah.
Elihu?
Yeah, I agree, because remember when Mercer said, does the whole ship know? And there's like, yeah, the whole ship knows. Even the kids know. Basically, since Topa grows up so fast, I think season 3 is going to be a teenager. And that's when teenagers go through puberty. Most species and most animals in life, they go through puberty during teenage years. So Bortus might have a little talk with him about males and females. Because he may have a problem with females. And remember, paralleling Star Trek, Alexander had a problem with females and other kids getting along and adapting with everybody else on the ship. So Topa may parallel that little part there. That's what I think might happen to Topa in season 3.
Good point.
And Bortus will be the one who tells him. Clyde didn't know. Clyde didn't out of the picture. No, he's an asshole about this part.
Yeah.
Bortus is the caring parent that wanted to ask. It's like, hey, maybe my kids should have a choice of their own. So I think
I could see Clyden and Bortus having an argument about how having the little talk should be given. And ETEP, what do you think about?
Yeah, I think the panel pretty well covered what I was going to say. Yeah, it's basically going to be like that moment of self-discovery, probably with a group of other students or kids around his age when they're like, because it's a small ship. I mean, there's a lot of people, but for news travels very fast. They say a lie makes it around the world, halfway around the world before the truth has its pants on. And I mean, on a ship like that, something like that, it's big. It's a big deal. So yeah, that will be, and I think they could really do a great public service if they craft that episode with care, if they do go down that road, because it could be a very good learning moment through entertainment, for those kind of situations. It really could, because it mirrors, things that are going on in society, to a certain extent, obviously, but, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him, kind of give him okay, so this is what happened. He's gonna hear it from, if he hears it from kids, he's gonna kind of it'll be a matter of fact, or it'll be get picked on about it some way. And then goes home to Clyden and Bortus, and like you said, you hope that it's Bortus as the time, because Bortus is more understanding about this kind of stuff. So yeah, and it'll be like, well, look, this is what really happened. This is why you are the way you are now. And they could have a point where Topa wants to transition back to being female again. Which was what she was originally. So, yeah, I mean, it could be very well done. I mean, the way they handled this, I would have faith that they would handle it well, and it would come across as very done well and with care to the audience.
I love that overhead shot.
Yeah,
that was a good crane angle.
I thought it was interesting because this like brought everybody together a little bit, and it seems like it brought Ed and Kelly closer.
Yeah.
You notice this shot is an overhead shot, not an actual straight angle for characters. You can see their actual profiles. It's like, hey, this thing is still overshadowing the episode. That's why I take it, the overshadow shot. It's like, hey, it's over here, but it's still in the air, guys. This is still up in the air. It's overshadowing everybody as they walk out of frame.
Yeah. And just really quick on Peggy's comment, Peggy and other people have brought this up before. The doctor's kids are going to tell Topa.
Mm-hmm.
Which one first?
Yeah.
Which one first?
Well, is that a yes, Maria? Is that a yes?
Yeah, those guys don't know how to keep the trap shut. They're
Which kid's going to spill the beans first, though?
Youngest one.
Oh yeah.
Youngest one.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
It's definitely going to just be seeing him picking on a girl and be like, oh, you're weak. Just be like, dude, you were a girl.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I want to give each of you a final thought on the episode. Let's start with Kitty.
I think this episode was really formative for the series. I'm so glad they put it as episode 3 and not shunt it later on into the series or the season. And it shows you that you can have hilarious comedy inside of an episode that is serious, and they found the formula so quickly for balancing that. Like, it didn't seem like it was ridiculous. It didn't seem forced, and it fit naturally as a relatable bit of comedy, and multiple times inside of an episode that is actually very serious. And just the entire thing is so good for causing conversations in a way where everyone feels open to talk about it because it isn't real. That's the huge thing with Star Trek, even back in the 60s, was, well, this is just sci-fi. It's not real. You can talk about it and explain why you like this and that, and it has no real world implications. I mean, that's not true, but it makes you feel that way. So you're a little bit more open to talking about situations and topics. And people don't judge as harshly, which I really like, and I'm glad that they're promoting that in the show.
Just really quick on Cavatino's Cavalryman comment. It's interesting that there's kind of a consensus that he's going to find out at some point, right? From us,
so.
from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
One way or another, even Clyden found out. It's like, as long as you aren't on mock list, you're going to find out. It's just a matter of when you go to the doctor. So.
Wow. Amber, final thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, like I said earlier, this was the point. This episode was the point at which I understood what this show was going to be, and it really set out its intentions on the kind of show I wanted to be. Yeah, it was the point where I really understood, and I just really loved the way it made the emotions that it conjures in watching it. It set a really good precedent for what was to come, particularly in season 2, and hopefully what we will see a lot more of in season 3.
I can't spell.
Go ahead, Maria. What about you? Final thoughts on the episode?
I thought it was done perfectly. Everything together, from the serious to the funny. It wrapped itself for, like everybody else is saying, what was to come from the show. And I think they did it. They knew what they were talking about by putting that episode where they did. And it kind of probably weeded out those that weren't going to stick around for it, but that's okay. You can go, because the majority of us really understood it, and I think continued with it, which is why it's still successful, is because it's brilliant. I think it's just
it is brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. Elihu?
Yeah, if Seth MacFarlane's up and watching this, F you for writing a better episode than I could ever think of, man. This was great. Well done. I mean, you see Seth MacFarlane's name on the episode titles, writing credits. You can think hilarious, comedy, humor. You see Seth MacFarlane in the episode. You watch the episode, you laugh. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? What the hell? Really? This is actually going on? Seth wrote these words? He wrote a controversial episode?
Can't you hear
hilarious?
Right after this episode air, I could hear like everybody at CBS kicking themselves. We didn't give Star Trek to this guy?
Exactly. I was gonna go there, man. I was gonna go there. Damn it.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Violently just, who said we shouldn't get him?
Oh. I mean, he just proved his worth right there. He should have won an Emmy for Best Screenplay on that episode alone. Right. Not even a nomination. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to look it up right now. Rotten Tomatoes, I've talked about before, and I will never let them live it down. They gave this show one of the worst ratings when it came out. I think it's still season 1. The critics, 53 of the critics gave it a 30% average. The audience ranking is 94%
for this episode.
For the series.
Oh, okay.
If I can see the score details, there's the episode list for About a Girl. I don't think they have specific scores for it. Nope, there's no specific score for it. But I'm like, clearly these critics have no freaking clue what they're doing. Because any other show, if it wasn't sci-fi, if this was a sitcom, if this was like Big Bang Theory or Modern Family, and they tried to pull something like this, they would have won every freaking award. And we talk about it on Dark Matter Mondays with Joe and Melassi from Dark Matter. Awards and critics are jerks when it comes to sci-fi and good shows that are seen as nerdy or geeky or childish and like it's the weird ones. It's like, no, we're actually weird because we find a way to talk about something that you clearly can't. And when you give awards to people who talk about it, it's because they butcher it. Like
I'm gonna give people a little spoiler here. If you are nominated for an Oscar and you don't go to the parties and mingle and bullshit with everybody, your chances of winning are successfully gone down. You have to kiss ass to get that Oscar. That's because you're nominated and didn't vote yet. You have to kiss ass.
There's a phenomenal episode of Adam Ruins Everything. It's on YouTube and I love that show because they show their sources and their actual research, where they explain how the Oscars are bought and it's completely fake.
Yeah,
and like for the critics who are choosing it, the Academy, they send the main actors from the movie or the show to their houses for private meet and greets, and they get all these fancy things. It's like I wish the public could see through that and just be like, you know what, awards mean nothing unless they're actually coming from real people.
People's Choice Awards, that used to actually meant the people actually voted for the winner. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Kids' Choice Awards at Nickelodeon, I grew up with that all through the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's like, kids voted for which shows we liked, and it was literally a universal thing. Like, anyone could vote, and boom, there you go. But no, these award shows are as corrupt as politicians in the exact same way. Self-serving self-interest. When people realize that Hollywood is exactly the same as Washington, D.C., that's when we'll finally get to see some change.
Oh, I think with the Ricky Gervais doing the Golden Globes and some of the shots he took, and I'll say and a certain someone getting arrested and his ledger being made public really opened the public's eyes to a lot of these people in Hollywood that are these people are, a lot of them, they're not good people. They're not. And the Academy is the whole Oscars, it's a joke. It is. Yeah. But this, like I said, you can still, there's still good stuff that comes out of them, out of Hollywood. But like you said, Katie, it doesn't get the accolades. Star Trek Discovery, the critics fawn all over that. They fawn all over it. I don't trust anything on Rotten Tomatoes that's not an audience score, because Rotten Tomatoes proved in 2019 they moved the goalpost based on the specific property or film and what its social messaging is. They will move the goalpost.
Star Trek Discovery, by the critics, has an average meter of 84%. The audience rating is 42.
Yep.
They just ignored the numbers then, right?
Hey, if your viewers don't like what you're... there's something wrong there. ETEP, I want to give you final thoughts on the episode.
I love the episode. It was well done for a very heavy topic that a lot of lesser writers would have been ham-fisted and just beat you over the head with a narrative that this really this didn't do that at all. It was heavy, but it still had a light feel to it, and it treated the topic not as a joke, but it treated it seriously. It kind of took you into that world and made you feel, like this is, and like this said, the social messaging is there, but it was done properly and it was well written and well constructed. So it did, like I said, it didn't feel ham-fisted, and it was brilliantly acted. I can honestly say that it was all the actors in this were on point. With everything, the lines, there was no, I didn't really buy what they were selling in this episode at all. I loved it. I did.
I want to thank all you guys for being here. I'm going to ask you one more really quick question. Any predictions for season 3 on any topic for the Orville? Katie, any predictions you want to make for season 3?
Ed and Kelly are going to get back together.
You took mine.
Oh, sorry. I think we're hoping, less of a prediction, more of a hope, because I can see them working, and then that's my main one.
But permanently back together?
I would say yes. They might not do a season 3. They might do a season 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, however long the run is, but I think it'll happen by the end of the show.
Interesting. Okay. Amber, any predictions at all of season 3?
Not so much a prediction, but I hope we see, in terms of characters returning, I know we see obviously we see Havina, but I wouldn't mind seeing Talaya, the krill, from Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes. I hope, and krill as well. I hope we see her again in season 3. I'd like to see her in the mix.
Interesting. Maria, what about you?
I think we need a little bit more Isaac.
Oh, damn it.
Isaac and Claire, or just Isaac?
I don't. We just. I don't know. Just some Isaac, but I think it'd be nice to see a love interest, and I guess in a way. I don't know. I think I'm just ready for anything really. But I'd like a little more Isaac.
Okay. Elihu?
Well, since the Union and the rest of the galaxies at war with the Kalon, I want to see a good Kalon. Someone who's actually changed sides to help the Union. Because there was good Borg that changed sides, so why not good Kalon that changes sides? That's what I want to see in season 3. And more Yaphet and Claire.
Yaphet and Claire.
That's not the love interest I was talking about, but
hey, wouldn't it just be the most off the wall thing for? Well, there already has been an Yaphet and Claire when she was hooked on the. ETEP prediction.
I want Alara back. I know Halston Sage left the show. I want Halston Sage to come back to the show because her character was so awesome, and she's great in the role. But no, I don't, because I'm not through season 2 yet. So it's like right now I'm kind of I'm sitting back. I really don't know where how it ends. The second season ends. So I heard somebody say they're at war with the Kalons, which is Isaac's species or.
Oh, sorry, dude. I forgot about that.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I'll get there. Like I said, I if I know an end result, I just don't know how he got there yet. That's fine. But if that's still going on, that seems kind of interesting.
It started with Mr. Potato Head.
I remember. Oh, I saw that. That was funny. Yeah, practical joke cuts Gordon's leg off. I'm like, oh my god. But no, I don't know. I really don't know what to say for I just wanted to keep I'm midway through season 2. I think I just wanted to keep going the way it's going because I really just like the show. And I heard somebody say Ed and Kelly get back together. It was kind of funny because we were talking about that nice scene with them this episode, and it's like the next episode. I think isn't that Priya? I'm like, then he goes out and sleeps with
the next episode is Starship Appear, the one where they find the ship.
The other ship. Yeah, Priya's the one after that.
Yes, after that. Yes.
I was like, yeah. Then 2 episodes later, he goes to sleep with somebody else. I was like, oh, the goodwill he built with Kelly out the window like that. But she was like, I told you so. I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
Katie, should we get ETEP? Should we ask ETEP to film his reaction when he watches Identity?
I think he should. I
will.
He should.
I can do that.
Really? Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll film myself watching the whole episode. I will. I'll sit there and I can do that. I'll set my gear up in the living room.
Oh my gosh, do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. That'd be great. Wow.
Absolutely. I can do that.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Amber and Maria, for joining us. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you. It was such a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having us on. Yes.
And we hope, Amber, you have a good start to your day. And
yes.
It's kind of a weird start to your day, I bet, having done all this at 7 a.m.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
My day.
And don't forget, please put in Maria and Katie and ETEP. Please put in your channels once again if you want. And don't forget to sub everybody who has a channel. Maria has a channel called TELLY. Katie has a channel called Smurfy Fan. So many random fandoms. Elihu Who is the name of his channel, and ETEP has the Place to Be reviews.
Yep.
Hosted by him and you said you got that name from Seinfeld, right?
Yeah, it was the Place to Be. It was Frank Costanza's billiard room in his house when George moved out. That's where that came from. I am very Seinfeldian fluent. Yeah, that is. Yep, that's where the channel came from, and then the theme of the channel, like the design of the logos and everything, is based on another one of my favorite shows, Lost. So yeah, that's I'm Dharma Initiative all the way.
Never seen one episode of Lost. I have not plans to see any episodes of Lost.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. William Jackson, thank you to everybody on the panel. William Jackson, Darius, Peggy, Tim Possible, everybody who has been in here. Shadow Man, another monster. Who else? Rapunzel, Dee Myers, Phi, everybody who's been in here, Cavatino, everybody who's been in and out. Thank you so much, guys. Have an awesome week. Stay safe, and we will be back with episode 4 of season 1 next week.
If the stars should appear.